Sloan.
Hi.
Wow, Grace, that was man. I can't even imagine how much work went into that. First of all, I guess congratulations. Can you tell us a little bit about it? This was shot on film as well, yeah?
Mm-hmm. It was shot on 16
On
millimeter.
16, yeah.
And
And
yes, analog, yes.
yeah, and how much of the effects were done in camera?
So I actually did a lot of optical printing, so it wasn't in camera while we were shooting, but a post-production process where you have a camera attached to a projector and you're just re-photographing.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm particularly interested in that time-lapse sequence over
Of
the
Zabriskie
mountains.
Point?
Yeah. I don't know. Is it?
Oh yeah, it's Zabriskie Point, yeah. That's actually the only part that was actually filmed in Death Valley because getting a park ranger is very expensive.
Oh, wow.
So we snuck that
wow.
shot, but otherwise everything's actually adjacent to Death Valley.
Yeah. And you did some animation as well?
No.
No?
I built like scale models.
Scale models.
And everything was at least attempted in analog, and some things were fudged in Premiere. But.
Okay, we won't tell. Yeah. Cool. And I guess story-wise, what was the inspiration for the piece?
Story-wise, so just my background is in experimental films, and then I work as a production designer on narrative films. But I wanted to attempt narrative, even though it's still pretty weird, people tell me. But story-wise, my parents are huge space enthusiasts. They met at a space conference. They dragged me to many space events. I have no interest in outer space, actually. I don't want to go. And I really hate the idea that we might have to abandon Earth at some point. That makes me very sad. So I wanted to make a film that was very nostalgic for an Earth that we are in the process of ruining.
Yeah. Questions from the audience? In the back.
I got just a couple technical questions for you. First of all, I love your set.
Thank you.
It's stunning. It's blue fuzzy realness all the way.
Thank you.
I don't even know who that is. But on the film process these days, it's coming from shooting film for a long time to going through the long, slow slog of watching visual take over and watching lab close. Where do you want to process your film? And when you do, once you get your process back, are you just doing one light? Are you coloring there? Are you doing this like you're just putting everything in Premiere and going for it, or?
Okay, let's see. Where did I process it? I processed it at, oh my God, why am I forgetting? Spectra in Burbank. They're the only people in Los Angeles I know that does color reversal. All of the desert stuff was Ektachrome. I'm actually New York based, so I feel like Color Lab also does color reversal. I feel like I recently checked. I did not do the color myself. Spencer, who is credited as the space pod person, who is an amazing cinematographer in his own right, did the color for me. Bless his heart. I don't know how he did it.
And how much are you guys like lighting on your sets? Are you going for it and having a pretty good idea of what you're going to get once you get your film product back? Or like, do you have some surprises? Or were you like, did you have to reshoot anything? Like, where were you with that?
For the lighting, all of the stuff out in the desert is natural lighting, but there was a lot of lights in the studio. Yes, that was a big thing. Getting light through all of the plexi in the spaceship was, considering we were like a 7-person crew, was definitely a challenge. Sorry, what was the second part of that question?
I guess the second part of the question was like, how much are you like expecting to get what you get? Did you have to reshoot? Were you really like manipulating out the back end, or were you going into it with your trusty old light crew and we're nailing the shot of the set?
Everything was exposed correctly. Yeah, Laura is she's shot on film so many times. Like she's got this absolutely. And even in the color correct, we really, I definitely wanted super saturation, but it's Ektachrome. It was already saturated. It was already real cute. Oh, thanks.
Wait, one more question here.
Where were the rest of the exterior shots shot?
Sure.
And also, the segment where the earthquake happens and she falls, that 8 seconds or whatever that is, how long did it take you to shoot that? A day, a couple hours?
Yeah, so the other locations for the desert was Alabama Hills, that giant Boulder, where she's doing the initial yoga, was behind our Airbnb. We got very lucky. And then we did a lot of the other more dangerous stuff in Ballarat, which is like a little ghost town. You seem to know Ballarat. My DP goes to Death Valley all the time. She got married in Death Valley. She's friends with Rock, who used to live there. So we had an inn. But they let you do whatever you want there. It's pretty great. How long did it take the falling scene? It takes a long time, but not a whole day. It was probably like 3 hours of arduously. We had, a dummy dressed in the clothing that we would then tie to a rope, and my AD would pull the rope up the thing. So probably 3 hours. There was probably 15, 16 takes where we threw him down the hill. He didn't always fall, which was a problem. He would get stuck halfway, and then, yeah.
Well, I feel like there's a lot more questions in the audience, but
I'll be around.
she'll be around after the screening from
Yeah.
Workers. But just quickly, if you could just tell us, what are you going to be doing next?
Sure. I'm working on two much smaller experimental, one documentary, one kind of just abstract. I do a lot of painting on film as well. Like when she disappears, that's all hand painted. But I'm also trying to write a feature based on the theory that Amelia Earhart survived the plane crash and then was eaten by coconut crabs. I don't know if you've heard about this, but that's what I'm working. Yes, but that's what I'm working on
It's on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a comedy.
Well,
Thank you.
amazing work. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you for watching.